Hello, good morning. My name is Nema Nembres. Welcome to our Farmers Media where we learn, grow, and connect. So today it's on Wednesday. It, it's on Wednesday, and we're very happy to have you here today. So glad. So how is your day? How is your day like? Because me, I'm very happy by the way. Wednesday tunasemanga it's ladies night. Where are you going for today night? Because me, I'm getting ready by the way today. I will be having a good time in the evening. I don't know about you. Wednesday is always our day, ladies. Kindly let's spare it for us. So by the way, today I saw some news which were really, by the way, I don't know, they just I was just shocked, and the comments too, the people who were commenting were shocked too, because I've never seen huge harvest in Turkana as I saw today in Facebook, somewhere called Nadapal Turkana. Those ladies there wako na shuka, but they're harvesting a lot. When it comes to ngwashe, ndoma, waru, mahindi, and all that, wanna harvest a lot, by the way. Do you know, I've never thought that Turkana iko na nini produce. Sijai fikiria something like that, by the way. It was just a shock on me that I was like, hey, guy, kwani Turkana kuna crops, which is very amazing, by the way. As some time back tulikuwa tuna advise people on the show that, hey, please try mixed farming. You should have both crops and livestock. Apparently you guys mnafanya wonders out there. Nadapal Turkana, you guys, you're doing amazing. Congratulations, by the way. You're hitting this thing. Mnafanya this thing, which is very good. By the way, you're using irrigation, which is still amazing. Thinking outside the box, because the climate imetuhit in a rate that we have nothing to do. Hatuwezi leta mvua. We don't have those. We can't. We've prayed. Only God can give us the miracle. But still, if bado haikam, mna create another solution for that, which is irrigation. Those people, they are doing wonders. You guys should go and check it out. Just go check the Nadapal Turkana. They are doing wonders when it comes to harvesting, farming. They are motivated, by the way. If you're a farmer, you'll get motivated with those people, because despite all the challenges they are facing, the raiding of livestock zao zote zinakufa, by the way, because of hunger, because of drought. But these people are bringing solutions to hit the climate in very high percentage, 99, 100. I'm giving you 10 over 10, because that was good. Hiyo produce ilikuwa poa sana. Hey, congrats man. Makofi kwenu, Turkana people. That is so nice. At least we're getting solutions to curb the drought, to curb the hunger. The economy may to hit in another way, that we only have to think outside the box. What else can I do to bring produce still on the table, to bring the market, to still get the money that I was getting even before pandemic, during pandemic, and all that. Because apparently the life that we were living during pandemic, as the economy was still high, and right now it's even becoming more and worse. There is no difference when you were in pandemic and right now. Yes, we are free from the sickness, we are free from the COVID-19, but still the economy is hitting us very badly. Are you guys affected in any way with the market? Because the market is hitting us so badly. I don't know about you guys wherever you are, but kindly share. So on the topic of today, we are discussing what has led to the market change in agriculture. Wherever you are, kama ni nyanya, kitunguu, avocado, the greens, terere, managu, spaghetti, mrenda. You guys, how is the market? Because I understand market cut across everything, all produce. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. It doesn't matter what and what. Cut across all crops. How is the market? Because to me, the kitunguu that I was buying 5 bob, right now nainunua 10. At some places I buy it 15. And these market people, they have a trick, because they know kitunguu ulikuwa unanunua 5 bob. So they are hiking it in this way. They are giving you 2 big kitunguus at 20 bob. What has it changed? Nothing. Furthermore, hata wameongeza price, which I'm not blaming them, by the way. You know, these people hata wao wenyewe wanna get the produce at a high price. So of course, for them to get some coins in the pocket because all of us were chasing that bag. They have to put the prices up. Unaenda kwa nyanya, you're getting the same price. It's season for mangoes, by the way, but the mango that I was buying at 15 bob ilikuwa mango kubwa, which hata kitambo, furthermore, when I was in primary school, the people who used to go to those primary schools, I don't know if you people used to go to those primary schools, which they are polling stations. Kama ulienda groups of schools, kuna sisi wenyewe tulienda polling stations. So as who used to go to polling stations, when it reached at 4, when we are almost to go at home, kulikuwa na these ladies who used to be with mkokoteni, trays, and some baskets. Others used to put mangoes in them, because ikiwa season ya mangoes. Those mangoes, you used to buy them at 1 shilling. Na mango unanunua ni kubwa. But right now, where are those mangoes? We're in the season for mangoes, but I'm not seeing mangoes for 1 shilling, even 2 bob, even 3. Right now, even shillings are no longer on the market. It's 5 bob and above. And still, even that mango for 5 shillings is nowhere to be seen. We're getting it at 10 bob and above, 15 bob, 20 bob, others at 30. What is wrong with the market? Can someone share with me? What is wrong? I'm struggling to get that 5 shillings. That's 1,000. But still, all of it is going to just five fruits that I'm going to buy, maybe in the supermarket or in the grocery. 5 fruits only. Unaona tu, yani punch imeisha hivyo. 500 imeenda hivyo. 200 imeenda hivyo. With kitambo, that 200, you used to buy a lot of things. Hey, you guys, is this thing affecting me alone? Because I know everybody is complaining, market has changed. And it's still changing. What solutions do we have for it? And first of all, let's start with this. What has led to the change? What has led to the change of market in agriculture? Because everybody is saying, oh, we need solutions first, but we need first to know what was the problem from the word go, for the change of agriculture, for the change of the price, for the change of the market. What has led to that first? So that at least now we can think of, okay, we've already got the problem. This is what we did wrong. This is where we went wrong. So now what should we do different to bring the market at a place that we can afford? You get me? Do you? So today's topic is all about what has led to the market change in agriculture. As a farmer, as a producer, and anybody wherever you are. So what is the effect? What has led to that? Because this thing is affecting me personally, which is not good at all. I'm not liking it, So another news for today, which I'll share with you later, but I'm being told that the guest has already joined, who will help us to discuss about what has led to the market change in agriculture. I've talked a lot, by the way. Leo nimeongea sana. But again, acha tusikie from the guest. Let's discuss with him what has led to the change of agriculture, what has led to the change of market in agriculture. Hello, Biko. Can you hear us?
Yes, so much, Neema. How are you?
Karibu sana. Niko salama. How are you?
I'm okay, and I thank God. It's a
Okay.
beautiful day, and we're enjoying the sun, even though inatuchapa sana.
Okay, inatuchapa. Wait, last week I had sunburn all over my face just because I exposed myself to the
I
sun
live in
just
Limuru, and you
for
can
a day.
imagine.
Where?
I live in Limuru. Limuru used to be
Uh-huh.
cold. Now the saa moja Limuru inakaa kama niko Taita Taveta.
Inakaa unachapwa na jua proper. Where we used to expect some cold weather there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guy, we are sorry.
I'm trying to imagine someone in Kayole or
What?
Kitengela.
Or Kitengela, yes. Kitengela first,
Yeah.
combination of dust and combination of sun. Oh my goodness. Where?
The pharmacist in that area must be making a killing because unakohoa kesho
Yeah.
utarudi tu na
Unarudi
chemist.
tu hapo. Yeah, it's hard. So, Biko, can you kindly introduce
Yes.
yourself to our viewers?
All right. Thank you so much, Farmers Media, and thank you so much, Neema. My name is
Okay.
Rading Biko.
Okay.
I'm a multimedia journalist working for Garowe Online Media. For those who understand Garowe, Garowe is the number one media in the Horn of Africa. It's based in
Mm-hmm.
Puntland, uh, in Somali. You know, in
Mm-hmm.
Somali, there are semi-autonomous states. Puntland is
Yeah.
one of the most thriving semi-autonomous states.
Mm-hmm.
And the name Garowe is the capital of Puntland, the
Mm-hmm.
semi-autonomous state. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
having Nairobi news.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been in
Okay.
the media industry. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in the media industry for the last 10 plus years.
Okay.
Wa- I've worked for some of the local big brands like Standard, where
Mm-hmm.
I was a couple of years back. Then
Mm-hmm.
I decided that I want to go international. So I write for Garowe on a full time basis. At the same time,
Mm-hmm.
I also correspond for China Daily Global newspaper. It's one of the biggest and most read newspaper in China and across Europe and as well as
Nice.
Africa.
Nice. That's
My
wonderful.
beats are on, yeah, thank you. My beats are
Mm-hmm.
on agribusiness reporting
Mm-hmm.
and also diplomacy when it comes to
Okay.
diplomatic ties reporting.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my key areas that I'm focusing for the two main media houses that butters my bread. And I can
Okay.
say I'm also a climate change. I'm a climate change activist. I like talking
Mm-hmm.
about climate change. I like informing climate change, especially how it impacts their life, because the
Uh-huh.
peoples in the blue chip companies, uh, I keep saying that they keep telling people that we have good policy, but when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to the implementation, which is the biggest issue, no one is
Yeah.
talking about this.
Uh-huh.
We cannot. I mean, there's a saying in Swahili that samaki mkunje angali mbichi.
Yeah, sure. Uh-huh.
You are teaching someone about climate change, someone who's 50, 60 years. They're waiting to die.
Exactly. They
Let's start
don't care
this
about
topic.
climate.
They don't care. They're only thinking that if I
Yeah.
die, please don't fight over my property. Don't do
Exactly.
this.
Uh-huh.
So if we start thinking, if we want to win this conversation, then we
Uh-huh.
need to go back and start it at the level. Teaching
Uh-huh.
that your young son, don't waste water when when you're brushing your teeth. You don't let the water run.
Yeah.
Yeah, simple tips. These are the things
Mm-hmm.
that will change the tomorrow's generation.
Exactly.
But above all,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Kenyan who's patriotic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's wonderful. You're doing very amazing, baby. Amazing work there. So on today's
Yeah.
topic, what has led to the
Mm.
market change in agriculture? And you've talked about you're doing some things in agribusiness reports, which I understand that you have a lot to talk about when it comes to the market change in agriculture in general. First, first, just a simple question. Personally, mimi prices za nyanya kitunguu zinani hit so badly. I don't know where you are by the way, but is it the same in Limuru? Biko, can you hear me?
I'm saying the prices
Mm-hmm.
have gone up because of many factors.
Uh-huh.
What? Yeah, I want to take you back to a little bit of history, back to where the rain started beating Kenya and Africa at large.
Uh-huh.
Today you are talking. Today you are saying that Africa is the food basket of the world.
Uh-huh.
Without Africa, Europeans will not be able to feed themselves, which is true,
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
absolutely true, and all that.
Uh-huh.
Remember, for those who did communication or for those who did economics in campuses or whatever courses related to the economy, there
Uh-huh.
were things called structural adjustment programs, which
Mm-hmm.
were introduced by the West.
Mm-hmm.
They were introduced by the West. For instance, they said, we don't need to
Mm-hmm.
give subsidies to our farmers. We don't need to
Okay.
compensate our farmers.
Uh-huh.
And some of these things has what
Mm-hmm.
we call the ripple effect.
Mm-hmm.
They were introducing some of these adjustments, not good for the African continent and Kenya at large. They
Mm-hmm.
were simply saying, you know what, we are going to produce in our country. We're going to
Mm-hmm.
set the standard in our country.
Mm-hmm.
So we have surplus. Where them to?
Mm-hmm.
We need a market.
Yeah,
And
sure.
Africa became the only market they had.
Yeah.
So in the 80s, in the 60s, 70s, all we were all consuming things from the West and continuing consuming. We
Yeah.
neglected our own crops. We were told
Yeah.
if
And
your grow
what we
tea is
have.
better.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Mm-hmm.
Yes, grow tea. Don't grow maize.
Mm-hmm.
Don't plant sweet potatoes. You just grow tea and coffee and sugar, and things
Exactly.
will be okay.
Yeah.
And today, what have we done? We,
Mm-hmm.
we we ran away from our climate resistant crops like cassava, yam,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and all the rest.
Mm-hmm.
And did we have? All the land we have, especially in Kiambu where I stay, I
Uh-huh.
pity the people of this county.
Mm-hmm.
Every land they see, they're erecting buildings. In the next years, we'll have a national food disaster in Kiambu because
Exactly.
they are doing
Uh-huh.
away with their farms and
Uh-huh.
all this.
Yeah.
Now, back to your question when you mentioned about the skyrocketing prices of food and
Mm-hmm.
it's all over.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time you will
Mm-hmm.
go to a market, you'll have a mango for 5 shilling,
Uh-huh.
and it's a big mango. Hey,
Yeah.
come out if you don't have 20 shilling and above, please
Hauna
out.
maembe.
You don't have one.
Yeah,
Yes, you
exactly.
don't have.
Which is very sad, by the
And,
way.
and it's very, very sad because number
Yeah.
one,
Uh-huh.
Nairobi
Mm-hmm.
alone,
Mm-hmm.
percent of the food crop we are using in our household today
Mm-hmm.
are not produced by our local farmer. They
Yeah.
are either produced in Tanzania or Uganda or South
Mm-hmm.
Africa or Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
And what seemed to be the problem?
Mm-hmm.
Our farmers were neglected.
Okay.
When you tell farmers to grow their cash crop and the others
Mm-hmm.
say, okay, cash crop is not giving us money,
Mm-hmm.
it enriches the few people in government and also in
Mm-hmm.
the private sector who pretend to be
Yeah.
advocating for the farmers' right. The
Uh-huh.
question I keep asking, do farmers have the right to determine the price they want to sell their product?
Exactly. I
Before
think
you
they
go to
should.
that, let's say fruit vendor who
Mm-hmm.
sells to you a mango at 30, most of them trade between 30 to 40 shilling.
Yeah.
Do you actually know that the
Mm-hmm.
farmer who actually planted that crop is
Mm-hmm.
getting 5 shilling or maximum 10 shilling?
Exactly. First,
Then we have
they're getting very less price profit from whatever they are selling.
the yeah,
Yeah.
and all this is
Mm-hmm.
because we have middlemen, and our
Mm-hmm.
government should do something. I mean, we have people that have been put in place to put policy. The
Exactly.
farmers
You
are
you're
always
talking
the
the last people to get that
yes,
cash and still to be
the
considered when
last
it comes to,
yes,
yeah.
to be considered.
Mm-hmm.
But when we want to pass bills,
Mm-hmm.
for crying out loud, why on earth will somebody who have never be a farmer or who have farming experience be placed in a docket of Ministry of Agriculture or a PS? You find
Uh-huh.
somebody who did education. That is somebody you're placing there. Ameenda kuweka chokaa
Exactly.
kwa
They don't know anything to do with the farming at all. They just know what they read.
what they yeah, and you see the people who
Mm-hmm.
are, we call them the implementers of this policy, they
Mm-hmm.
don't take into consideration of the farmers.
Exactly.
Another thing that is affecting the prices, yes, we all
Mm-hmm.
know
Mm-hmm.
change, but let us
Mm-hmm.
not blame climate change per se.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get here where we are today,
Mm-hmm.
and what were we doing as a country to be prepared for this?
But
Probably
Biko,
nothing,
before,
because Kenya is
okay, allow me to cut you short before we go to
yes,
the point that you want to say. You've said something important about
yes,
what did farmers do different, or what did we do different to make that change in prices, change in market? What is that was done differently?
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Number one,
Uh-huh.
in the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
in the 80s, 70s, 60s, and probably a little bit of the 90s,
Uh-huh.
you'll have an aka 50 by 100, and
Mm-hmm.
you're able to sell your cabbage to your neighbors, make a few shillings here and there,
Exactly.
and you're doing well
Mm-hmm.
because probably you're not using fertilizer, you're not
Uh-huh.
using all this chemical, the soil is very
Uh-huh.
fertile,
Mm-hmm.
if you're raised in the village like someone like me, we will be waking up very early to go and collect cow dung in our neighbors.
Exactly.
Uh, yes, this organic fertilizer, which were very nutritional to the plant,
Yes.
and they will produce good crops at the end of the day. But today we have a number of diseases which has come up, which are very resistant to drugs. So in your 50 by 100, probably you'll do in the 80s, 90s, you'll be harvesting maybe 50 bags of cabbages. Huh? Today in that same plot, you can barely make it to 4.
Exactly.
Because you will then before when you're able to get maybe 3 or 4, again you have to factor in the prices of pesticide, the prices of fertilizer and the seeds.
Exactly. Yeah.
And these are some of the things that continue affecting the prices. Then the other factor, you will go to Markiti, which is known in Nairobi, or Soko Mjinga if you're along this way to Nakuru. There's a place called Soko Mjinga.
Yeah, exactly.
Go to Kitengela market. You have been living in Kitengela on those side of Athi River, wewe umepanda yako vizuri sana.
Exactly.
Now Biko crosses over to Tanzania. He buys a lorry, a 1-ton lorry full of cabbages. You want to sell yours at mimi nasema yangu ni 15 bob.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, there is you see the supply and the demand will keep increasing, and whoever has a better deal at the end of the day will have it.
Yeah, we'll have
then
it.
at times comes when there's more demand but there's less supply.
Yes. Sure.
So what happened? People will run around and do what? They go and source for these fruits, whatever means that they have it. And majority of them, you'll be surprised, are coming from South Africa, Egypt, and Israel. So you have planted yours, but I'm bringing mine, which it's very funny. It's not organic. Yours is organic. So I will sell mine higher. Wewe na hiyo yako, because uko na deni ya sako or chamas, you have to pay or repay it back.
Loans.
So yes, loans and all this stuff. So the Kenyan farmer is a slave.
Exactly.
The Kenyan farmer is actually a slave. There is nothing that they're able to do. They're just there.
And do you know, when those people are importing those produce from other countries, and then they come, maybe
Yes.
mango from here, it's being sold at 20 shillings, and then they come and sell it at 15. You as the farmer from within will be forced to go down up to 15, not considering the expenses that you had on transport, taxes, fertilizers, which is a very big loss, by the way.
Yes, that's what nasema. Ukuwa mkulima Kenya is like injecting yourself with cancer.
But no,
And then you're looking for the medicine.
encourage them in a way. We should still encourage them. It's not bad to be a farmer, but what
It is
will
good to
we
be a
do?
farmer. Yes.
Yes, what will we do to curb that? You get me?
Yeah.
Okay, now we've mentioned something very important: the import and the export. Do you think we still have that big opportunity to do our export as farmers and bring that change in the market?
There is that, but the question is, are the policymakers have the interest of our local farmers? Personally, I don't think so, because if I can go to Equity, acquire some small loan and import pineapples, apples, cash crop, food crop into Kenya.
Yeah.
And I'll be given a tax subsidy. I'm being told, you know what? You will not pay taxes. You're bringing food. You're creating employment. Which employment are they creating? I have only a driver picking anaendesha gari kutoka Mombasa kuleta Nairobi.
Yeah.
And then you're telling me I'm creating employment. Employment napatia vijana 200 kutoa vitu kwa gari. Is that employment?
Yeah, that is not
Offloading. We are
employment,
not
by the way.
serious. It's
I
not
get it.
employment. But
Uh-huh.
it will make of sense if I say Emma here has a farm
Mm-hmm.
of maybe tomatoes.
Uh-huh.
She has a very good greenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
If I look at the value chain of how you're carrying out your services, you are
Mm-hmm.
creating employment both directly and indirectly. So all I
Exactly.
need to do is now
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I need to make sure that local farmers,
Mm-hmm.
their product becomes a priority.
Yes, exactly.
How do you
Yeah.
think Ethiopia was able to grow their economy? You
Mm-hmm.
protect your own farmers first. In the
Yes.
US and other European countries,
Mm-hmm.
the government has allocated billions of dollars.
Exactly.
If
Uh-huh.
Nehemites do not experience bad weather, you are
Mm-hmm.
compensated at a market rate.
Uh-huh.
You don't tell, you don't go and import maize from Zambia and commerce and you come telling us relief food. Kenya don't need relief food. Kenya need
Yeah,
what is
I
called
get it.
a better a
Uh-huh.
better
Uh-huh.
regulated framework where
Mm-hmm.
ukipanda mahindi from the food basket of Rift Valley, your
Mm-hmm.
maize 50 kg bag will retail at 7,000 Kenya shilling. The same way mtu akiimport kutoka nje. But
You've
best
said.
way of doing this is
Mm-hmm.
the
Okay.
best way of protecting our. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes, I was saying the. Mhm.
You've said something very important about the
Yes.
why do Kenyans, I don't know if, I guess it's the government, why do they import
Mm.
produce for us while we have farms to get the produce from? Why do they do that?
Let me show you now.
Mm-hmm.
Nema, it is very painful.
Mm-hmm.
By the grace of God, I've gotten the opportunity of transversing this country, both left, right, and center.
Uh-huh.
Every corner, borderline.
Uh-huh.
And I can tell you, as I
Uh-huh.
speak to you now,
Mm-hmm.
I want to give you a very good example.
Uh-huh.
We all know Kisumu
Uh-huh.
for what? Lake
For,
fish.
for fish, yeah, for fish.
Uh-huh. But
Mm-hmm.
do you know how many people are importing fish nowadays? Then repackaged in the name of from Lake Victoria.
Uh-huh.
It's happening. It
Okay.
is happening left, right, and center.
Mm-hmm.
Today,
Mm-hmm.
the banana growers from Kisii are not earning from their money,
Uh-huh.
from their
Uh-huh.
produce.
Uh-huh.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because Bwana Biko will cross over to Tanzania,
And
Sirare
get the
through the border.
bananas.
Iko panya route me.
Ah.
Very many and
Yeah.
and it's a highly controlled cartel empire.
Uh-huh.
I'll come to you and tell you, if you go to a market now, ukitaka a bunch of banana, ile kubwa kabisa,
Mm-hmm.
the entire banana,
Mm-hmm.
you should be able to pay. If you're getting it from Kisii, it's around
Mm-hmm.
4,000 or 3,000.
Uh-huh.
Lakini kwa sababu mtu alienda ng'ambo ile na
Amepita tu
akaipata na
panya
300,
route. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
inafika marketi na unaambiwa hii ni 2,000.
Imagine.
So
And Kenyan produce is still
so
here.
I mean, because number one, we have gluttonous people in government, people
Mm-hmm.
who don't value our farmers.
Okay.
I mean, today
Mm-hmm.
the bottom line still remain. Are we do like the question I said? Do farmers have
Mm-hmm.
the right to determine their prices? They
They
don't,
should.
and they
They
simply
don't at the moment, yeah.
they should actually.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They should.
Mm-hmm.
But again, the farmers, the issue of middlemen,
Mm-hmm.
the issue of middlemen. You
Mm-hmm.
look at our sugar industry today.
Mm-hmm.
Simply because I have some political connection, I will
Uh-huh.
go to Komesa ninunue
Mm-hmm.
sukari kutoka Kakira, Uganda.
Imagine,
Come
na
bring them
iingie
back to Kenya.
Kenya. Yeah.
Some of these so-called sugar millers, please, if you want to investigate them, you realize that 99% of the sugar products that
Mm-hmm.
they're name of theirs are not
Uh-huh.
theirs.
Exactly.
They are
Zimetoka
either
another place, they just come and brand it like it's from Kenya, but it's
yes,
totally
they
not
brand
from
it.
Kenya.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So some of these things I think it's upon the community, or it's upon Kenyans
Mm-hmm.
to start treating the way, if we arrest terrorists at Westgate,
Mm-hmm.
we charge them.
Uh-huh.
I think committing denying farmers their rights should be treated as economic sabotage, or
Yeah, sure.
agricultural
Sure.
terrorism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
Okay.
we are
Mm-hmm.
talking about. Go ahead.
Whose role do you think it is to do that? The farmers, the government, or who?
Neema, today we have county governments.
Uh-huh.
Do we?
We do.
Probably you are in. Yeah, you are in Kajiado County, if I'm not wrong,
Uh-huh.
or Narok,
Yes,
whatever.
yes. Kajiado County.
The
Uh-huh.
question is, Kajiado is known for livestock and beef.
Uh-huh.
What exactly are we doing to boost the livelihood of these farmers?
Mm-hmm.
Ama kazi itakuwa ni kuchinja, maneno imeisha. Leta ng'ombe
Kwanza sasa
yako,
hivi venye
lipa hapa
climate,
1,000,
kwanza sasa hivi
chinja
venye
hiyo,
the
enda nayo.
climate has really changed.
Yes.
Yeah, very sad.
Which now we should be thinking about what exactly can we do to protect the farm. The national government, yes, wanaweza sema, we have so much we are doing, we have malaria to fight, we have, I don't know, blah 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 to fight. So farmers wanawachwa huko. You know, in our country we don't talk about. Today when we are allocating budget, do we allocate specific meant for farmers in the rural area?
Aki, by the way, akunanga budget ya farmers in the rural areas. Budget inasomwa and everything will be read. But there is no they don't consider the farmers in the rural areas.
You're not important.
Yeah.
Unasema, then we have this fishy thing called AGOA. They have an opportunity. This, to me, truth be told, and I keep saying this. We have a body called AGOA, a trade agreement called AGOA, which tells you now, for you to export your tomatoes to the US, lazima iwe that seed, that quality and quantity must meet a certain standard. Yes, it is very good.
Exactly.
Then why are African leaders and African countries allowing them to bring in expired products in the name of relief food? Can't we? I mean, a country like Uganda, I don't know if they are experiencing drought, because the last time I checked, mvua inanyesha huko na jua at the same time. It's their nation. So Neema eating our priority right. You have a county government of Kajiado. The county government Kajiado should be start thinking and rethinking. We have 10,000 livestock farmers.
Okay, at the same time, the county governments, they are not, at some point, they are not doing anything that farmers need. You know, then farmers, sasa tutakaa hapo tukingoja county government. What will farmers do? Because even if you tell them to do, if they don't want to do, they won't do it. And so far, so good, they are not doing it.
Neema, let me ask you. You are a child, you want to go to school. You have so much kwa daktari. Jameni. Utatoa mwalimu wapi na school fees kama si mzazi?
Kama si mzazi. Enyewe ni mzazi anafaa kulipa school fees.
So the county government this thing I see most county government doing you are fencing a market. What are you doing? Fencing a market is not helping these people. The thing should be, what is the value addition?
Exactly, the value addition.
99% of the mangoes we produce, 99% of the mangoes we produce goes into waste. Why? Because we are not value addition. How many people know that we can dry mangoes?
Aki, less people, by the way. And if that knowledge goes to rural areas, tuko najua enough.
Yes.
People could be drying the mangoes and anything else that needs to be dried.
Yes. And you can also dry mboga and use it in the times of when the supply is low and the demand is high. So I think the county government should move away from the paperwork and start rethinking. How do we now make sure that tuko na sausage inaitwa Kajiado ama Kitengela sweetness, whatever like that?
We
Those
produce
are the
our
value
own
addition.
produce. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
A good example that I can give you, I want to use an example of Ethiopian airline
Uh-huh.
and how Ethiopian build
Their airline.
their airline industry to be the
Uh-huh.
best in not only Africa but among the best in the world.
Yeah, exactly, by
It's
the way.
very
Yeah.
simple. Do that. Just make sure. So, okay, you're flying to Ethiopia. Ndege yetu, we have subsidized the prices. So it's economy of scale. In a week, how many passengers can fly to our to either of our airport, either Bola or Addis Ababa? Probably maybe 10,000 can do
Uh-huh.
that.
Yeah.
Whereas then you want to bring cargo into our country, use Ethiopian airline.
Uh-huh.
But what happens with ours? Sisi hapa hata unaweza pata our own KQ has become Embasava. So what do we do?
Uh-huh.
We are killing our own farmers by allowing Tom, Dick, and Harry to bring in
Yes.
food from outside.
Yes.
We are
And
not saying
again.
people should,
Uh-huh.
we
Uh-huh.
are not saying we shouldn't trade with our neighbors. It's very good.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But let us put mechanism policies that says umeleta nyanya kutoka Uganda. Kwanza, the tax, I will slap you before that thing crosses the border.
The tax only.
You
Yes,
you
sure.
you think twice.
Unarudisha tu mali umetoa.
Unarudisha uze huko wadili na.
Yeah.
Or
Uh-huh.
we can simply say unataka kuleta nyanya. Sawa, usilete nyanya, tulete tomato sauce.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So go produce it and
Yeah,
bring
go
it.
produce it and
We
then
will
bring it.
accept it.
Lakini,
Yes,
there
because
is this problem. Okay, allow me to cut you short. There is this problem which
yeah.
happens nowadays in Kenya. Produce which farmers have already harvested, it's taken outside the country and then it's being brought as maybe tomato sauce, as something else, as something else. Have you seen that? Like, we are not
Absolutely. It's
in a
across the board.
position to manufacture anything for ourselves. That is still affecting the market.
It's simply because like your the implementation of policies are poor in Kenya.
Yeah, very poor.
We are
I
a
get
party to so many declaration. Yani, every year we are adding declaration on top of declaration on top of declaration. We have the Malabo declaration, which is that 10% of our budget should go to agriculture. At Kenya, I don't know, we are at 4.5. Maybe tukijaribu sana tuko 5. The only country that has done better in the African continent is Rwanda. 7% of their budget in agriculture. And it's very easy. When that you have that 10% agriculture, we'll be able to do what is called commercialization of agriculture. You know, when you do commercial and you set up factories, you know, I think a time will come whereby we need to start asking the multinational questions. Why are we exporting our tea to be processed in the UK? Kwani hiyo mashine ile ikienda huko ikirudi haiwezi tengeza hapa? Let them buy that tea directly. Because when I'm buying a mango from your side, when I'm buying a mango at 5 bob at your side, at your farm, alafu naipeleka ng'ambo naitengeneza na kuwa juice, nikileta huku juice how much is juice? 300 and above.
Exactly. Na hiyo mango ilikuwa 15 bob.
15 bob. Maybe hata nimekufinya nikwambia nitanunua shamba yako. You know, normally what they do, they go and book a shamba for you.
Yeah, and then they take all the produce.
I remember that we should borrow as a country, and the regime under President Ruto should do is borrow what the Ghanaian president did.
Yeah. Okay.
Ghanaian
Okay.
president,
Allow me to cut you short,
Nana
Biko.
Akufo.
Sure.
Yes.
Allow me to cut you short, kidogo. We are having another guest on board who is a farmer. Noah, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear. Can you hear me?
Karibu sana, karibu sana. We are on top of the discussion, man. It's very awesome. But the topic is what has led to the market change in agriculture. And Biko is another guest of ours who is sharing a lot with us. Very happy to
Uh-huh.
discuss with him. So can you kindly introduce yourself, Noah, to our viewers?
Yes. Thank you very much, Neema. I know I wear different hats. My hat today
We
is.
can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
You can hear me
Yes,
now?
now I can hear you. Yeah, sure.
Fantastic. Yes. So I,
Mm-hmm.
I, I know I wear different hats. My hat today is a farmer. You can see I was actually being pulled from the farm and told
Uh-huh.
to get in here. Yes.
Karibu sana, karibu.
Asante sana. Yes. So
Uh-huh.
I didn't get the question, but now you can ask me again the question. Yes.
Uh-huh. I just wanted you first to introduce yourself as a farmer,
Yeah.
which you have. So we were
Yes. So I'm a farmer.
discussing. Uh-huh.
I farm in Kamulu. I farm in Kitale, and also farm in Namanga.
Mm-hmm.
Glad to meet you, Biko. I've just had something that is intriguing.
Ukaona lazima uchungulie uulize swali
Nikasema acha
which is very
nichungulie kidogo.
interesting.
Yes.
Karibu. Mhm,
Asante. Thank you very much.
mhm, mhm. So
Yes.
tulikuwa tunaongelelea by the way how the produce imepanda and the market imechange totally. As a
Yes.
farmer, what is your point of view on the market change?
Well, farmers have no say when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
the market prices. We
Uh-huh.
have zero say when it comes to market
Exactly.
prices. Okay, I
Uh-huh.
mean, definitely we need to have a say,
Uh-huh.
definitely.
Uh-huh.
But what is happening in the industry right now, there's a lot of
Uh-huh.
confusion, number one.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Farmers don't have accessible transport to take their
Uh-huh.
produce to the market. Transport
Exactly.
is exorbitant. The price of transport is exorbitant. The
Mm-hmm.
price of inputs is crazy.
Uh-huh.
We need to change our policies. We cannot
Uh-huh.
just keep on doing the same things and expect something different. You know, I've
Uh-huh.
had Biko
Uh-huh.
mentioning the role of government in doing this.
Uh-huh.
There are very many aspects. For example, basic things like cess charges. Cess
Mm-hmm.
charges is just crazy.
It's very
You
crazy,
know,
by the way. A lot of farmers
uh,
are complaining about it. Mm-hmm.
yes, absolutely. Yeah. So it's crazy. So there's a lot to talk about. Just in a nutshell, there
Mm-hmm.
are specific aspects there that we have to be getting it right. Drought is there, but
Uh-huh.
it's drought. We just woke up and found ourselves in it. You know,
Uh-huh.
drought. We knew conditions were there. You know, we have we have a logical department, which is a government agency as well.
Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, Biko, what do you think about what Noah has said as a farmer? So, from your side, what do you think about what
Yes.
he has explained? Biko, can you hear us?
No, no, I've said it the way it is, blue, black, and white.
Uh-huh.
Is all those charges that has been put in place.
Uh-huh.
By the time no, no can tell us the last you made a profit
Mm-hmm.
is because the time that hits the money. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
probably the money in the end to pay the thing to go. Maybe if he has some loan is offsetting.
Uh-huh.
So in we are the Kenyan farmer has been doing the same things year in year out. There is
Mm-hmm.
nothing because at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
the profit margin that they have, and I
Mm-hmm.
wonder when most farmers in Kenya realize profit, because when there's
Okay.
so much maize, somebody somewhere will go and buy from the farmers directly at a low price,
Mm-hmm.
take them to the port of Mombasa, bring
Okay.
them back, and you tell us
Uh-huh.
these are maize that we have brought from Congo. Surely, that's what I was
Very,
saying.
very sad.
This is
Uh-huh.
agricultural economic sabotage or terrorism.
Yes,
Sure.
I totally agree. I totally agree, Nema. I totally
Uh-huh.
agree with
Uh-huh.
what Biko is saying. And
Uh-huh.
unless we come out and say what it is, because I have never failed to produce in my farm. I
Uh-huh.
have never
Sure.
failed.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
I have never failed. If you go and the mama mboga where you buy vegetables from, you will never
Uh-huh.
find her without those vegetables. There's no day
Uh-huh.
atakwambia leo nyanya haikuletwa. Imejaa
Haikuletwa ama
kwa
mboga
soko.
haikuletwa. Uh-huh.
Exactly. Right now, I was just in
Uh-huh.
the farm. We're doing a new crop of tomatoes and vegetables. But
Uh-huh.
who's fooling who? Who is fooling who? If we were really ready and sure and say that we really want to end hunger in Kenya,
Uh-huh.
we could have done it. It does not take
Okay.
rocket. It's not rocket science. It's not
Yeah.
rocket science.
Uh-huh.
No, no, it's a lie.
Okay, Noah, do you think
Yes.
some farmers they lack knowledge on whatever is supposed to be done so that they can change the market?
I stand where I sit. I'm not standing, I'm sitting. Where I'm sitting right now,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I have always said, if
Mm-hmm.
you want students to pass exams, you need to make sure you have the right teachers. True?
Exactly. And then right knowledge. Uh-huh.
If you want patients to get healed and leave hospital, you have to have the right doctors and
Uh-huh.
right nurses and right
Mm-hmm.
caregivers. True?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sure.
What about farmers? If you want farmers to produce well, you need to make sure you have extension services. You have
Uh-huh.
to make sure that you have the right skill sets for those extension officers to be trained.
Mm-hmm.
You need to
Mm-hmm.
facilitate them. There's no way a
Mm-hmm.
school will perform well if the teachers do not have bus fare to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to make sure that you're enabling your best friends. As a government, your best friends are extension officers in
Mm-hmm.
agriculture, because they
Mm-hmm.
will tell you where the farmers are, what the
Mm-hmm.
farmers are growing, how are they growing it, what are the requirements, what do they
Mm-hmm.
need, and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. They'll tell you where food is. So
Okay.
we cannot
Mm-hmm.
say that we are doing this. There's something that Biko has mentioned, the Malabo Agreement.
Uh-huh.
Every government, both county and national government, or even Africa Union, they should have dedicated 10% of the revenue that they have into
Mm-hmm.
agriculture. And
Mm-hmm.
when they talk about agriculture, also industries that need to support. For example, infrastructure. If
Mm-hmm.
the roads are bad, I cannot get my produce to the market. So from the 10% roads, no.
Mm-hmm.
10% is for make each extension officer has a motorbike and the right knowledge and go to see these farmers. The other
Okay.
day we were seeing
Mm-hmm.
that farmers were being there was registration of farmers by the
Mm-hmm.
sub count by the chiefs and sub chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been a perfect opportunity to bring officers who are
Mm-hmm.
in these areas at offices,
Mm-hmm.
and they register these
Mm-hmm.
farmers, because that is when the extension officers are empowered.
Okay, so you've said a very good by the way, example when you're talking about education. If you want a student to pass, they need a teacher. If you want a farmer to produce, they need training. But question is here: you're having those teachers, you're having the place to study on, or the trainings. But how about the equipment? The equipment to make the farm, or to make the market to grow. So Beko, what do you think about the equipment that they should be on board? Because if the training is there, but what is being taught to the farmers? Is it affordable for them to do it when it comes to the market?
Neema,
Mm-hmm.
if I may add on what Noah have said when it comes
Uh-huh.
to about the county government, and
Uh-huh.
also the kind of content we want our farmers to have.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
The question is,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
we all know that the small scale farmers make bigger margin or bigger percentage of the food production in Kenya.
Yes, exactly.
These are farmers who understand their dialect more than the two officials. So if you're
Yeah.
bringing people from Nairobi
Mm-hmm.
who doesn't understand the local dialect, then
Mm-hmm.
you're bringing a translator.
Uh-huh.
There's a distortion of information
Mm-hmm.
which falls within that place.
Mm-hmm.
Which falls within that place. So I
Mm-hmm.
think one
Mm-hmm.
of the way of ensuring that farmers have the correct information
Mm-hmm.
is by ensuring that if we are going to Rift Valley, please don't bring somebody who doesn't speak Calais or doesn't speak
Exactly.
Kipsig.
Uh-huh.
Pick
Uh-huh.
somebody who they understand.
Uh-huh.
Because you find agricultural officers, they are going to the farmers, wamevaa suti za 10,000.
Aki,
So
badala
you are
wavae
even
dust
scaring
coat.
these farmers. They should be dust coats and all that. Eh?
Exactly. Uh-huh.
But
Biko like
you are
mine, huh?
scaring
Biko
these
like mine,
farmers.
this one.
Yes, like yours.
You are
But
very
see,
well dressed, by
Biko,
the way.
Because
I think what you're saying is very important. However,
Uh-huh.
what I also want to counter on that is very simple.
Uh-huh.
Why don't we have
Mm,
farmer field schools more? Because in every village we should have
Uh-huh.
one exemplary farmer who other people farmers are looking at. Because if you bring for me
Exactly.
somebody
Yeah.
from anywhere,
yes.
even if it's from my county, and
Mm-hmm.
ananielezea kitu sijawahi ona,
Uh-huh.
I'll just tell this guy is just showing me a movie. Alafu niende. So we have to also make, as Biko is saying, what we also need to make sure that we're doing is to make sure that we are showing them farming is practical. So you have to make sure there's a place somewhere where another farmer can go and refer from.
But Noah, let me cut you short.
Yes.
So you're saying that we should have at least like a classroom for farmers, or somewhere where farmers are going to get that knowledge in every maybe place or rural areas. Who should be responsible for that? Because that question I asked Biko some minutes ago. Who should be responsible to that?
No, just
And
a
if
minute. No,
Yes.
no, just a minute. Let me respond to that. No, you pay taxes as a farmer and as a citizen of Kenya.
Yes.
Then we don't have most counties government. Unajua zilikuja tu haraka. Watu kwa position. I'm going to be a CAC in a county.
Exactly.
So, like I said earlier, you cannot put somebody ule amekuwa akitumia chalk kwa class akuja farming.
Asimamie farming.
Take someone who's been a farmer. Like Noah, he understands the problem. He's been with farmers.
Anafaa kukuwa CS
whatever county anakaa.
Exactly.
Yes, CSC farming in the county level. Then the other problem that we are facing, we have a team that we have what we call copy and paste. Simply because something worked in India or something worked in Brazil. Natumiwa hizo watu wetu wa ministry wanatumiwa hizo notes kama PDF, they download,
wafanye
pay
pia
people
pia
from
wao
tengeneze papers. Walafu now it's been told. Sasa hii kitu najua hata tulipanda ng'ambo. My friend, hiyo mchanga ya ng'ambo na hii mchanga Noah anatumia ni tofauti tafadhali.
Exactly. Noah, what do you think about that?
Neema, let me tell you the truth. The day I saw that agriculture was devolved is the day I knew Kenya is not serious about food production. Because in your house, as either a parent, you cannot delegate provision of food. You cannot, even if it is not you cooking. Najua siku hizi unasema mpiki. Even if you are not the one who's cooking, you cannot delegate the function of provision of food. It is a lie, and you cannot tell us that, you know, this is the thing, and we have to tell each other the truth. If you are serious about food production, you have to give experts who have been tried and tested and understand what farming is. Exactly. Let us not hit it. We have to make sure we have it right. I mean, you cannot have someone in a Ministry of Education who does not understand how teachers work, is not even does not have any that education background.
Yeah, he's not even trained to be a teacher.
Exactly. You know, and not even they don't even feel empowered. So for me, that question of who is supposed to make sure that farmers are getting the knowledge is the same person who stands and says that we have a crisis, there is no food in the country.
Okay.
Hunger is a national crisis. Hunger is a national crisis.
Okay, no,
so
allow
it
me
means
to say
that, yes.
We have to face the facts, because right now we don't have that person you're saying that we should have. Do you think
we have
farmers? Okay, we have. They should then get to work.
Neema, we have, and there are so many.
At the same time, okay. At the same time,
no. I want the
okay.
first,
Let me finish.
the only person who is supposed to, the person who is supposed to actually make sure that farmers are being trained is not the person who has the highest level of qualifications in agriculture. Is our beloved President William Ruto.
But at the same time, Noah, at the same time, allow me to say this.
That.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, allow me to say this. So, do you think farmers should be confident enough to start something, to start that class, before even those people, at least they find you somewhere? Because if you wait for them, it will take time. It will take another 5 years or 10 years. Will we wait for that long? Biko,
Neema, we are not waiting for them. Sisi tunafanya kazi. But if you want to help us do it better, by the way, you're not helping us. we are the one who's helping you do it better. Because wakulima wakikataa kulima leo, wachana mambo ya siasa na nini, itaisha. Hakuna mtu anakuwa na chakula kwenda kwa campaign. So we are helping you execute your mandate, because the number one mandate, hata kwa Biblia, the holy book says you have to provide for your beloved first, so that you look like somebody who has faith. The holy book has told us that thing. So we are helping the government execute its mandate. All we are saying is enable us to do much more. Kama ni fertilizer unatuletea bei rahisi, tuseme mchanga bure. Ama na a certain price. Ukiona tunalima, you can even in one of the African countries where trucks za jeshi zilikuwa zinakuja kwa mashamba, zinachukua produce zinapeleka sokoni. So that farmers feel empowered. You know, cut this brokerage thing. Brokerage thing. We have farmers have not, imagine with this drought, you still go to markets and find produce. Wanatumia petroli that has been taxed ya maji, wanatumia madawa ambayo yako taxed. All this is happening. So ask yourself, if I reduced this and enabled this, can farmers produce more? Okay, so you ask yourself, who is your biggest partner? Your biggest partner, number one, is because even students cannot go to school if they're hungry. So your biggest partners as a country, as a government, is your farmers. So if you enable and make them super, watakuwa wana produce, and the moment farmers can produce, then we are talking about a totally different population.
Biko, do you agree with what Noah is saying?
1,000,000%. 100% is understatement.
1 million.
Because the reason is you have Noah who's a farmer. Noah produces whatever food product he has in his farm. And then you have somebody somewhere sitting at the Ministry of Agriculture or at the county level who's a friend to a certain politician who went for benchmarking somewhere. Wakaambiwa huko they are benchmarking market for your product, for your maize here in our country. I can facilitate you to do ABCD, you bring them tax-free into the country. Then the same politician registers a company in the name of a side chick who's now running the company. They do import and export. They bring in their food, maize products. They bring their maize product into the country. Tax-free. They have been given tax-free.
Imagine.
And what happened? They sell this maize 50 bags. They are selling it at maybe 3,000. No,
half the price which farmers in Kenya are selling.
Yeah, lower than what is the market rate. You know, there is a market rate price, which Noah can agree with me. So what are we doing to Noah? We are simply telling Noah, we don't care whether you plant your crops next season or not.
Kama ulilima, kama uliweka fertilizer, taxes, we don't care.
Yes, they're not factoring this thing. And where those politicians and so-called ministry senior government officials are this product from, they have been given fertilizer subsidies. They have insurance for their crops, and they are also being supported by their own government to export more. So selling our farmers, they are expecting a market for some few individuals who are going to benefit out of our own farmers. And you did ask about who to blame. I think to my understanding, the bottom should be both county and national government should be held accountable. One, we cannot start borrowing ideas from foreign countries and think they will work. Yeah, you know, there's a saying in Igbo or in Nigeria that you cannot impregnate 9 women at the same day thinking that they'll give a baby. There's a process that has to wait for it. So what is the process?
Biko, I normally extend that saying, but say if you want 9 babies, you have 2 options. Either you marry 9 wives, but you still have to wait for 9 months.
You have to be
Yes.
patient.
Right. And so you see, Neema. So Neema, we need to start by cleaning our agricultural docket at the county level and at the national level. The county level, you cannot tell me that you are putting in much in security. And you want to, the budget of security is 10 times or six times that of agriculture. Are we going to eat bullets and grenades? No.
Nico,
Eh?
we can't eat
We are not
bullets.
going to eat
That's
bullets and
very
grenades.
interesting.
Yeah. Okay, can you give me
Biko.
allow me just to
Yes.
ask this question in Facebook.
Yes.
Simon Wamaiza is asking, what can we do to adapt to the current changing market trends? Because we have to adjust to all these changes. Biko, can you answer that? What can we do to adapt to the current changing market trends? Because we have to adjust to all these changes.
Just to this current market trends by simply empowering our farmers to be able to produce more, so prices can go down. We're not going to adjust the prices by setting up policies which are not helping the farmer who bears the bigger burden of it. We need, like I was saying, we need to eliminate the issue or the matter of middlemen. Let us create a platform whereby a farmer in Kitale can simply be able to sell their maize directly to the millers who produces this unga. This middleman, that profit they're making, let that profit goes to the farmer. Because we are talking about reducing the price of ABCD. We are not going to do it introducing. It simply means we need to start thinking that how does Noah's product from his farm to my table, it goes directly to the market without having somebody pretending that I'm helping the farmers. I see this a lot with coffee farmers. I'm helping, you are helping me. Kwani that farmer doesn't know where the market ya kuuza mahindi iko?
They know.
They know. But because we have some middlemen, this middleman, you see, it's about cleaning the house. How do we clean the house to make sure that Noah's product and the rest of his fellow farmers get the right price? Because it's very, very painful when I bring maize from Uganda and the market price in Kenya is around 7,000 for a 50 bag of kilo. Then Uganda, but this fake one, which I've gone through, I'm selling it at half price, at 500, surely.
Yeah, very low.
What am I doing? I am killing these people.
Yes,
Then
very true.
tomorrow,
Yeah,
Noah?
very true.
to start cleaning, yes, we need to clean the house and
Noah, can
cleaning
you?
the yes,
Let Noah
yes. Let
explain
me
maybe
let me
one one.
finish. Yeah, yeah. The
Okay.
house means that the farmer at the grassroots level should have a say in the policy making. We cannot have people in big offices and making decisions for the farmers. That now I think, according to my thesis, blah, 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 the best thing to do is to do ABCD. Where is the farmer? The government need to kill this top-bottom approach of solving problems. Today, a farmer will be told you cannot share seed. There's another. I don't know if you are aware, but they want to end the traditional seed sharing. Why? The hidden agenda is to ensure that those national company that seeds are market is them. And that is the bottom line. Not lie to our farmers that ABCD is going to happen. We clean the house, we put people who have knowledge, farmers to be on the agricultural docket, both at county and at national level.
Okay, Biko.
Yes.
Let's give Noah a chance to answer that question. What can we do to adapt to the current changing market trends, because we have to adjust to all these changes? Noah.
Nema, it is not rocket science. And you can hear what we are saying. Something interesting. because said national government, county governments have to be held accountable. Lakini, this is something that we have to ask ourselves. We have seen people going to visit the president. We have seen people going, MPs and farmers going to visit the president at State House. How come we are not seeing the president and the CECs of agriculture together with the minister of agriculture going to visit him and saying what we know? No, it is very simple. Let us put our money where our mouth is. Very simple. We have a crisis in the country. We have different ecological zones that are good with growing different kind of crops. Can we make sure that these farmers are being taken seriously? The other thing that we have said about because said, which I also want to add on that, is that let us have qualified people. I mean, it is not rocket science. Agriculture has been packaged like a thing for failures. That is what we as farmers are looking at. Because you find that the current nomination, which I don't know, I should not be held if it is true, what is happening. The CAS for agriculture is somebody from my village, and I am very sure the person will not help the farmer. So we have to be very serious in what we are talking about. If we're talking about, example, the CEC, so the CS for agriculture, which is a brilliant guy, my friend, Kalinturi, he's very serious in making sure. But are we putting structures? We don't even need to change policies. We don't. I mean, my friends, if watoto wanataka kukula chakula kwa nyumba, you cannot change policy and say at we cannot feed kids with this, we can only feed with this one. No, policies are there. The policy is there that Kenya is facing hunger. We need to provide food. For example, and I want to use the security aspect that Biko has said. We have seen that there are bandits in a certain part of the country. Without any parliament approval, the Kenya Defence Forces has been sent there. How come we're not getting Kenya Defence Forces to go in these markets and make sure that food is not being hoarded?
Exactly. At least chakula
even those, yes. So we have to take food security very seriously. And food security being taken seriously is a very simple thing. Make sure that your farmers are satisfied, they are producing, reduce food that is coming from outside so that your farmers are comfortably producing. And by the way, to counter what Biko has said, if there are no brokers, if there are no brokers between the farmer and the market, remember the farmer is still selling at a good price by the time they're selling even to the broker. Bei ya juu, it would reduce. Remember, food security is availability of food that is safe, nutritious, and affordable. So that food will be affordable. The other day I was in Kajiado, and I have been growing cabbages for 15 years. I have never sold cabbages more than 40 shillings on my farm. But I was in Kajiado and I asked the price of cabbage and I was told it's 130. Yes. So I asked myself very hard questions. This cabbage is just being grown in Kenya. It is not being imported.
That's a lot.
Exactly. And where is the money going to? We are in a country that we also have to change. We're in a country where we eat the money for fixing roads. And since we have more money, we buy 4x4s.
Exactly. You can imagine it was 130, and out of that money, still farmers are getting less profit from even
in
that.
In fact, I took a photo of that cabbage. That cabbage ilikuwa imekatika katikati. In my farm, when I'm selling to brokers, they don't buy that cabbage. They tell me hiyo ni fagia. So we're in a country where we are messing the industry, we are messing the systems, and then we say we're going to change policy. Policy. No, we have to just do it right. We have to do it right. We have to do it right. We cannot eat the money of fixing roads, and then because we have more money, we buy a 4x4. But when it rains, it floods. Even my 4x4 cannot go on the knee. So I end up using more money on repairing my 4x4, buying bigger tires, so more money going to the fuel instead of having fixed the road and even have a normal vehicle. Anyway, I also drive a 4x4, but you
brought a very nice discussion there, a very nice topic about transportation of produce from the farm to the brokers and then to the market. That's another hectic issue with the farmers, and still it affects the market. Biko, what do you think about that? The poor transportation and transportation as a whole.
Another thing that because the poor road infrastructure that Kenya has faced as a country, we always think about the main highway. Do you think about the feeder roads to the farm, where maybe Noah has his farm? Because probably he has his from his farm to the main road is around 50 kilometers, and it's an earth road. When it rains, it becomes hectic. So we need to start thinking of how do we make sure that people, the feeder roads that comes to the national highways are fully tarmacked.
Okay, yeah.
So that you don't waste time. You don't waste time, because I know when a farmer's harvest has been done and it rains, when magari they'll tell you, you know what, we can't travel. You have to wait for another 2 to 3 days. Now what happens to that? This produce will go bad. Then when the produce goes bad, if he was able to half the price, so what happens to that? He incurs losses and losses. So I think it's time also that both county government and national government and the Ministry of Agriculture should start how do we offer affordable transport to our farmers? To our farmers. I mean, there are a lot of development partners who can say with 100 lorries farmers in Kitale. So is a county government. As a farmer, I know very well my produce will not be will be taken care of to the market at the right time. At the right time. So when it's all about having a clear strategy and framework on how farmers. The other factor considered is, do we have storage facility?
Yeah.
I mean, for a very long time, I think the only storage facility we all talk about is about milk coolers.
Okay, Biko, allow me to cut you short. Allow me to cut you short. Let's not go to the storage part. Let's not go first to the storage part. Let's deal with the transportation. Noah, the poor roads from your shamba to the road, to the highway, because by the way, a lot of people and even the government is just concentrating on Thika highway. Right now tuko na hii nyingine imetokea hapa Mombasa road. We are only concentrating on that. Nobody is concentrating on huyu msee mwenye anatoa food from rural areas. How is it coming? How will it reach to the highway? How is it affecting you as a farmer?
Neema, if one of the advice, if you know the president receives intelligence briefs, so we hear, tunasikianga tu, sijui kama ni kweli, he receives intelligence briefs. I would urge him to also receive food security briefings early in the morning. Ajue, aambiwe chakula imefika wapi, fertilizer imefika wapi, fertilizer. He should have at least 8 farmers. You know, we have the former 8 provinces. 8 farmers on speed dial.
And farmers who are coming from rural areas, not farmers when you are for two.
There's no farmer who comes from town. Any farmer who comes from town is a broker. What was farmers are in the rural areas. Farmers where you cannot get fertilizer, where you use manure because you cannot get fertilizer. It is more expensive to take a border to go and collect fertilizer from cereal board than to use manure. You know, and interestingly, who told the government that farmers need fertilizer? Because me, I was never asked. I've been farming for 16 years now. I was never asked if I need fertilizer to produce more food. Nobody has ever asked me that, you know. So if somebody told the government that farmers need more fertilizer, then that same person needs to have told government that we also need water and better roads. Because how did they know? Because they never came to my farm. Let me tell you, I mean, in my farm, which is not so far from the road, let me tell you something. What the condition of roads messed me up. I planted cabbages. These cabbages were yeah, I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
This farm was 13 kilometers from the road, from the main road. Neema, do you know that I lost 75,000 cabbages because I
What?
could not. It was more expensive for me to hire a tractor that had a trailer to carry my cabbages. I had to pay 13,000 shillings for each trip, and that is just like 2,000, 3,000 cabbages at most.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, it was more expensive.
It's
If the
very
county government
expensive.
at that time came up and said, "No, you have cabbages. Let's transport for you to the market." In fact, I mean, even if I was to pay something small for fuel, it is okay.
Yeah,
But I lost
it will make sense.
Exactly. So if these cabbages, I was to sell each cabbage at 50 shillings, that was a lot of money going down the drain. But that is something that nobody's taking care of. Okay. So what we're simply saying is this: if you can be able to just improve the road network where the farmers are going to, number one, there'll be more people moving that area because they know their farms. There'll be more cost. People will use transport. Where I am in one of my main farms now, if I dread the fact that it can rain. If it rains, I cannot access my farm. And it is not far. It is just 100 kilometers from Nairobi. Yeah. So
Well,
the transport issue is a very sensitive thing, and I think you have something also to add in terms of the any affordable transport, because even the transport needs to be affordable. Cost of fuel is up. Hey, my friend, I don't know how many friends or farmers we have out there.
Let's first talk about that fuel, because everybody is complaining fuel, and the most people who are complaining about fuel are the people who are just having errands to run in town. Nobody is talking about fuel from the farm. At the farm, we should consider farmers with the fuel and all that. Nobody's talking about that. But
Let me
fuel
tell you. Let me
is
tell
something
you.
that is hitting people very badly.
Let me tell you, Neema. We use fuel to pump water from the river to the farm. We use fuel to pump our generators from the borehole to the farm.
Yeah.
We use fuel to go and monitor our farms. We use fuel to transport our produce to the market. We should even have a badge. We should have a badge. This one is called this. We should have a badge here that indicates that I am a farmer. I'm a farmer, and so if I go to a petrol station, I'm given
free fuel ama at a better cost.
Lakini Wakenya tutauza petroli bana.
Watu watabeba vitu zingine kwa gari waseme ni crops just to get that fuel bana.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let us be considerate to farmers, because we want them to produce. We want to produce. We are happy. We're not selling our land now. We are not selling our land now, because even now nobody's buying land. Just enable us to be able to produce better in a more efficient way.
Okay, Biko, what do you think about the fueling when it comes to transportation of produce?
Absolutely, because it's something that we should be taken into consideration. When we talk about fuel, we only talk about matatus, buses. No one factor in the issue of farmers. And when we hear the government talking about giving subsidies to the farmers, they only talk about fertilizer. I've never heard them say now, if you are a farmer, whether scale or small scale, instead of buying that petrol or diesel at 100 shilling, we'll be selling you at 45 bob.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that, because fuel also impact on of the price of the your produce, but nothing like that has ever taken place. We only talk about, we care about people who are driving their cars to work, or transporting people from part A to part B, but we don't care about whether the farmer is using to pump water, or even using it to spray. There are those farms which are big. You need to fuel to move the machine that is spraying the product. But no one talks about this. I think it's something that should be taken into consideration, not just only at times that there is a fuel crisis. This should be a long term. Create a situation whereby farmers are given subsidies at petrol station. You are a farmer, you have a certain card where it indicates it has the if they swipe it in a machine, if they tap it on a machine, it shows that you are in Kitale from A, B, C, D. You're growing maize, you're growing whatever. So you will not be sold the price, the normal fuel price, but at a subsidized level.
Yeah.
Because if you're giving fertilizer and I need to hire a tractor to plow my farm, even the subsidies that you have given me, that small portion will go into fuel. So in real sense, there's nothing that you have subsidized for me. You have just left me there. Is like somebody giving you and mafuta sufuria. Then they are telling you, you cannot cook with the kuni. You only need to cook with the gas.
Exactly.
The prices is going to be the same. Yeah.
Okay. So Noah, question to
Yes.
you. We are talking about
Yes.
transport. And I understand getting your produce from the farm to the market, you will find
Yes.
illegal barriers on the way. You will find the people waiting there. Those county to move your produce from county to county. You have to pay sales
Yes.
tax. How is it affecting you? Because that's a lot. If I was a farmer, that's a lot.
Oh,
I'm paying
let me tell
fuel,
you.
transportation fees to those drivers, and then again I'm coming on the road. I'm paying sales taxes. Legal barriers are on the way. That's a lot.
You know, I think we also have security taxes because we find roadblocks
Sure.
of police there. Lazima utoe kitu kidogo ndio
Kitu kidogo
upite.
wanakuweka hivi mkono. There is
You
just a
know,
way.
it was so we need to ask ourselves very heavy questions, and that's the reason why I'm saying I wonder because the president definitely receives intelligence briefs, intelligence security briefs every morning. We hear. I'm asking, does he receive the farm food security
Progress.
briefings? How many farmers does the president have on speed dial? Not those big farmers. Smallholder farmers of an eighth of an acre to 5 acres produce more than 80% of the food that we consume in the country. How many of those does the president have on speed dial? How many of those does the governors have in each? How many of those do the CECs of agriculture have contacts with? I can say for sure, without a doubt, and very proudly, my CEC in agriculture, Madam Jacqueline Coyne, is in touch with what is happening. How many of those CECs are being rewarded and even being given more support to make sure that their dockets are successful? I am still waiting to see a meeting of all CECs, okay, together with the president, together with, I heard they met in Mombasa the other day, but how many of those CECs carried 5 farmers to go to those meetings? So those are the basic things that we're looking at. So when it comes to transport, we have to make sure that we have affordable transport that farmers can be able to use to make sure that food is leaving the farm and going to them.
Okay, very good info there. So, Biko, are you still on air?
Yes. My final word, perhaps you can.
Yeah. Just give us your final word as you want to leave the show.
All right. I think it's high time that, like I said earlier, economic crime is treated seriously, and those who sabotage the farmers' rights and all that should be as agricultural terrorists. They should never be given bond. They should be in jail. But we need to clean our agricultural sector, sure that our farmers have the right in every decision making concerning food production in Kenya.
And what advice do you have for the young people?
Absolutely, it's for the young people. We has a lot of opportunity because the food basket of the world lies in Africa. But like I said, it should be something done at a personal level and also at an interest level. Do not go into farming as a young person going to hit a gold mine on the first. Most young people go around. They go the market. Will supply ABCD to that country. They need to understand the kind of structures that have been put in place both at the local level. As a young person in your locality, start by supplying your locality. Then perhaps you move with the county before you start thinking national level. Because if you are able to satisfy your locality as a farmer, you are able to satisfy your county as a small farmer or as a youthful farmer. You'll be able to understand the challenge that comes with it. But farming is very expensive, and it's something that if they embrace, let us start forgetting about this issue that I need to be in an office that is lacking in. Is it milk or is it
Sure.
tomatoes? How can how do you have a land, or you can hire a land that? Are you able to produce to supply to the vendors just around that area alone? When you're able to meet that market demand, you'll make a lot of money out of it, but it requires a lot of patience. It requires a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah.
And to the national government and the government, our farmers are our own umbilical cord, or rather our kidney.
Okay.
Without our farmers, we don't have a country. So it is time that we start rethinking, how can we bring more farmers on board and let up this copy and paste idea? Because something worked, some doesn't necessarily mean it will work in a certain area. We need to start localizing the kind of content we give to our farmers. The World Bank will come collect their report, blah blah blah. Then tomorrow does their final finding, but the farmers were never involved.
Yeah.
So how can the farmers, and I also can throw it back to the media. What kind of information are we giving?
Yeah,
When you see that they are reporting on agricultural stories, it's always about success. It's a one-sided story. Why don't you look for that farmer who planted maize in 10 acres? He made 0 losses. And it's a lesson that you can learn. Where did they go wrong?
Yeah.
So you see, the media should also play its roles. I mean, our local media is politics January to December.
Yeah, they should at least have something
days.
important. Exactly. Yeah.
It's something that is important. Then when it comes to local content, the local government should start thinking, what is my content for? And potato farming and maybe milk. How can we stop just sending these potatoes to Nairobi to supply us with the chips, which we end up at Aga Khan at some point in our lives?
Yeah.
We start thinking, how can we add value to the potato that is being produced? And by doing so, we are creating more space for the farmer to rethink. There is a Nyandarua crips. So I'll stop buying those ones which are coming from Egypt and the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And if a farmer perhaps in what do you call it, in Garissa, they have a lot of beef. Why are we sending our cows to be butchered in Oman, in Qatar, whereas we can produce our own meat here?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And we sell it locally. So it's all about changing the mentality. And the way Noah said it, we cannot change our mentality when you're putting a soldier to be a doctor. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
We need to put the right people with the right skills to do the job. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Biko. The discussion has been so good. Thank you for your information. We've loved the show, by the way, very much. In case sometime back, on the future, we would like to invite you for more shows because you're having very nice content for us. Thank you so much, Biko. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Okay, bye. Right. So for our viewers, we will go for a very short break, and then we will come back to continue with our discussion about the role, what has led to the market change in agriculture. Sorry for that. What has led to the market change in agriculture? That's our big question of the day. So because before we go to the break, we were talking about transportation before the Biko went off. So we're having a project with us for ATLS, Affordable Transport and Logistics. So it's being sponsored by UK Tech Hub and UK Aid. This project is helping to reduce the cost of transportation. It's measured in 3 places: Nairobi, Kisumu, and Mombasa. These are the major cities around, which will really help in transportation. This project will help with the cess taxes. It will help to reduce the illegal barriers. So it's a project that every farmer should consider. Let's go for a short break and then we will come back. Thank you. Thank you very much for our viewers. We had a very nice topic today. If you've missed the discussion, ulikuwa wapi? Ulikuwa wapi Aki? You should go back and just watch the full show. It was very fantastic, by the way, and we're still giving you information. So our big question of the day was, what has led to the change of what has led to the market change in agriculture? What has led to the market change in agriculture? Wherever you are, as farmer, as your person, the person who is in the market, as Mama Mboga, how is the change? So we had Biko with us, who has just left, who has really given us a very wonderful information. And again, we had another guest who is Noah, who is still on the show. Noah, can you hear us? Okay, thank you very much for joining us on the show as we were talking about transportation and how it affects the farmers, how it affects the poor road, the taxes and all that. Do you have maybe anything else that you could add on taxes? Kwa kwanza tukiongelelea mambo ya kanzo, when it comes to the people who are in the market. Do you know kanzo, they really do terrible things in the market, by the way. You can imagine a farmer has brought their farm produce to the market. And then when they're just ready to sell, kanjo kwa hapo. He wants his 50 bob, his 100 bob. I don't know for what. But then I've never understood that strategy of kanjos coming to coming where people are selling produce.
Yes. Number one, I would like to urge the county governments, just remove the cess from farmers. You can charge any other thing, but just remove the cess from farmers, from farm produce, because we've already done our bit. Remember, by the time I'm going to the market, I've already lost some of the produce. I've already paid some extra taxes that nobody else has paid as a farmer. Even buying equipment. So if we were to make sure that, according to what you're discussing today, if we were to make sure that we are helping farmers cope with the market changes, first of all, reduce the cost of transport to the market. Make sure that it is it's something affordable. The other thing is that probably also reduce the over reliance of farmers on brokers produce. You see, that's why you find sometimes farmers just decide to let the produce get spoiled on the farm because it is more expensive. And then the brokers are manipulating us. You see, if I was sure that if I can take my cabbages to the market and it fetches probably 50 shillings, that that probably, even if it's 70 shillings, but I can get my 50 shillings, the other 20 shillings is not is okay because it has taken care of other things. But if I'm going to the market, I cannot get 30 shillings for my cabbages, and yet the same cabbages are being sold for 130 shillings. This is a very big disconnect. And then my plea also back to government is just to make sure that they're facilitating the success of farmers, because the success of farmers is the success of a food secure country. I know it might be short lived, but that is that is the beginning.
Okay, there is just one thing that I want you to clarify very clearly as a farmer, because we've said that the people who should be responsible is the county government. When it comes to supplying the machinery, the inputs, do you think there is a way that county government should just consider the farmers?
Yes, definitely, absolutely. Things like, number one, reduce cost of tractor, plowing a tractor. Instead of farmers having to invest money in buying machinery, the county government can have that machinery and then they lease it out to farmers at affordable prices. That's that's the other thing. Make sure that you have experienced, knowledgeable extension officers, agriculture extension officers who can be able to train farmers on the latest trends, making sure that farmers are producing well. And this way, then you're safe. You're making sure that even your county is safe, is a safe zone when it comes to production of food. The other thing is that there are other activities that the county government can be able to do. For example, we know of a service that the Pest Control and Protection Board, PCPB, has, of training young people in different villages, different localities, on how to spray farms, how to take care of crops. So that can be something that is, I think it would be much better to have more extension officers more young people trained. We have brilliant colleges, brilliant young people coming from agriculture schools,
Yeah.
but they don't even have jobs. So who's fooling who?
Sure. So the government should be fully responsible for all that.
Because the money, when the money for food, the money for aid comes in, it's the government that distributes. So why should it not be take responsibility?
Yeah, sure, exactly.
Yes, it
Exactly.
has to take
What's that?
responsibility, because there's no way you can announce food hunger as a national crisis, but you also run away from the taking the responsibility of enabling farmers. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. Very sad, very sad. So it's and these effects affect everybody. You as a farmer, Noah, as the people who are in the market, Mama Boga, and even us as consumers. My friend, I'm telling you, we are buying things that hey, ni expensive, and you're like, hii nyanya imetoka tu hapa Makueni. Hii mango imetoka tu hapa Machakos. Why is it this
yes.
expensive? You get? But we're not considering, we're not putting in mind the transportation, the taxes, and all that, which is very sad. So thank you so much, Noah, for joining our show. It was very late, by the way. I hope you've enjoyed it too. Mimi nimeenjoy yangu yote, by the way.
Thank you very much for having us as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sana. So thank you to our viewers, for those who have not yet joined us, for those who have not yet watched us. Kindly find us on our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Alphamas Media. Thank you so much. I was your host, Neema Nemris. Thank you again. Let's meet tomorrow.